Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog .stampwithelaine.com. Today, Stampin' Up! Is releasing the Ornate Garden Suite to customers for a whole month before the actual annual catalogue launches. This is the card we're going to be making, but first I'm going to show you the suite. It comprises of two bundles. There's the Ornate Style stamp set, which is a cling stamp set, and these are the coordinating dies called the Ornate frames. There are two nests of frames in this set. This one will cut out this pattern. This medium-sized frame cuts out this one, and as you can see it leaves the inside whole, so it's not actually a frame and you can stamp inside it. And the same with this one, and then this one only cuts out the aperture inside and it doesn't actually die cut a piece. And the smaller nest will cut out this one, this piece here, a rectangle stitched label, and this one cuts out the inside, so as you can see I can put that on top of that and it will cut out this pattern like so. The other bundle has a all wording set, and this is all in photopolymer, so there are three main greetings here, but then you can add all these other wordings, which is in a cursive font, to the main greeting. And the dies are all borders. I've die cut them so that you can see it. This one cuts out this border here, this one cuts out this border here, and you can just snip that off at the end to attach it to your card. This one you can snip off the ends. There are these two markers here to help you, and it's the same length as your main card, so if you just snip that off then you get that sort of border. And if you want to free it and have that totally on its own, then you can add this and it will die cut it and free the rest. Then there's this one which will cut this out, and this one which gives this detail, and you can use these leftovers as fronds as well if you want. I didn't cut out the flowers, but there are three little flowers as well. A combo pack of ribbon. There are two spools, each has got 5 yards, that's 4.6 meters. In the suite there are also some 12 by 12 sheets of Specialty Designer Series paper. These are the patterns. So there are 6 double-sided designs, and this is the reverse. There's some gold foiling, and there are gold foiling with blanks on it, so you can colour them as you wish. There's a 3D embossing folder and some gilded gems, they call it. I will show you some samples of the cards I made with this suite, but for today I can't go without making a card for you. So this is really simple. The card base is just half an A4 sheet, and in Europe this measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 7/8. In metric that's 21 centimeters by 14.85 and folded in half. The terracotta tile has been cut at 5 5/8 by 3 1/2. That's 14.3 centimeters by 8.9. And this is for to die cut the border. The Ornate Specialty DSP, I'm using this pattern, and this has been cut at 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's 5.7 centimeters by 14 centimeters. I'm going to glue my Designer Series paper first, so that it will make it easier for me to position the die where I want it. Now the terracotta, I think I ran through the size of the cardstock, didn't I? to run through the other things you'll need. Tuxedo black memento ink, terracotta tile ink pad, and I'm just using the ordinary markers because when I do the inside of the card, I'm not using blending pens because it will bleed through the back of the card. So I'm just stamping directly onto the card base. So I'm using Pineapple Punch, which is the outgoing in colours for 2018 to 2020, and then from the subtles I'm using Mint Macaron and Pool Party, and from the Regal Old Olive. I'll also need the ribbon from the combo pack and the faceted gems. So I'll go and die cut this. Remember the markers on the die here, and it's this bit that I want to expose. So I'll have to orient my die this way and align it with the right edge of this piece, and I'll go and die cut that off camera and I'll be back. Before you attach the ribbon and glue it to your card base, it's best to make sure you've poked out all the little bits out of your die cut piece. I'm going to run some tape onto the back of this so that I can anchor the ribbon. I'm just going to put a glue dot there to help me hold that down. Loop that over and do a flat knot. Now this is a photopolymer stamp, so I'm going to have to put a cushion underneath. Actually, I'll just do it like this. Bring in my terracotta tile ink, stamp the sentiment, which is rather long, at the bottom of the cardstock. Flip the card over and I'm going to stamp thank you now in the inside of the card. Round about there. And then stamp thank you for everything underneath. Switch ink pads to the Tuxedo Black Memento, and I'm just going to stamp the daisy here. Just colour in the centre of the flower with the Pineapple Punch marker. The reason I'm resurrecting these is because it's going to be retiring soon. Then I'll just use the Old Olive to lightly go over the veins, and then Mint Macaron. Then with the Pool Party brush tip, I will trace around the outside of the stamped image. Now that I'm sure that's okay and I haven't botched it up, I can now glue this to the main card. I promised to show you some of the other cards I made with this. Now with the gold, I actually gold embossed this on Whisper White cardstock and then stamped it with blends. I used the die to dry emboss the background of this layer here and use a sponge dauber to colour the flowers. For this one I used one of the border dies and also the frame, so I used a combination of both, and I wanted to show off the designer series paper. This one shows off the border, and that's the stitched rectangle, and then I used the designer series paper to decorate the inside. For this one, because I wanted the daisies, not to waste the daisies, I actually cut an aperture in the label here, and I used the daisies, I can't remember what it's called, but one of the daisy stamps anyway. So those are some of the extra samples I did, and this is the card we made today. I hope you've enjoyed the introduction to the early release Ornate Garden. All the items can be purchased through my online store. The links to the supplies are below this video in the Show More section. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll be back later on in the week. Bye!